Emma Hayes tugged her frayed jacket tighter against the Chicago wind. The Grand Meridian Hotel's glass doors hissed shut behind her. Her cleaning shift was done, but the night was just beginning. She clutched a worn backpack, stuffed with dog-eared books, and hurried toward the bus stop. The city's pulse thrummed honking cabs, chattering crowds, neon lights flickering. She didn't notice the black SUV idling across the street. James Carter gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles pale. At 38, he'd built a cybersecurity empire, but trust was his enemy. Partners had betrayed him. Employees had stolen code. His ex-wife had gutted his accounts. Now, Emma quiet. Elusive Emma was setting off alarms. She'd been slipping out early for weeks. Vague excuses. Sick mom. Doctor visits. Her file was clean Emma Hayes, 25, no record, references solid. But James knew better. Paper trails lied. He'd found a receipt in her locker. $50 wired to some rural address. What was she funding? A side hustle? Something worse? Tonight, he'd find out. The SUV's engine purred as he eased into traffic, tailing her bus. His jaw clenched. This wasn't personal. It was business. Protect the empire. Trust no one. Emma boarded the number 66 bus, her breath fogging in the chilly air. She slumped into a seat, the backpack heavy on her lap. The books inside secondhand, bought for pennies worth for the kids. Her kids, she called them, though they weren't hers. Not really. Just a dozen or so children from the Hope Haven Community Hub, where she volunteered after work. Kids who'd never learned to read properly. Kids the system forgot. She stared out the window, Chicago's skyline blurring past. Her reflection stared back tired eyes, messy brown hair tucked under a knit cap. She looked older than 25. 3 jobs did that. Cleaning at the hotel, weekend shifts at a diner, and the community center. No pay there, just purpose. Her mom's hospital bills ate most of her checks. What was left went to the kids' books, snacks, pencils. She smiled faintly. Worth it. The bus lurched through the loop, then west, toward a neighborhood where streetlights flickered and storefronts sagged. Emma got off at Kedzie Avenue, the wind sharper now. She pulled her scarf up and walked, her sneakers scuffing cracked pavement. The SUV followed, 3 cars back. James's pulse quickened. This wasn't the suburbs. This was rough. What was she doing here? He parked near a shuttered bodega, slipping on a dark cap. On foot, he trailed her, keeping to the shadows. Alleys smelled of garbage and motor oil. A dog barked somewhere. Emma turned down a side street, her backpack bouncing. James's mind raced. Drug deal? Blackmail drop? He'd seen it all in his climb to the top. People always had an angle. Emma stopped at a faded building, its sign barely legible. Hope Haven Community Hub. The windows glowed faintly, and children's voices spilled out. James frowned. A front? He crept closer, peering through a grimy pane. Inside, Emma knelt by a wobbly table, unpacking books for a group of kids. Some were tiny, clutching crayons. Others were teens, slouched but attentive. Good evening, everyone. Emma's voice was warm, steady. Tonight, we're reading new stories. Who's first? A girl with braids raised her hand. Shy. Emma slid a book over, pointing to a line. You got this, Mia. Sounded out. The girl stumbled, then beamed as Emma cheered. For an hour, James watched, frozen. Emma moved between kids, correcting gently, passing out pencils from her bag. No rush, no agenda, just kindness. When class ended, she unpacked her backpack again. Not cash or contraband apples, bread, peanut butter. She made sandwiches, handing them to the kids and a few parents who'd lingered. Take some for tomorrow, she said softly. A man, maybe a dad, thanked her, his voice thick. James's throat tightened. He backed away, his world tilting. The receipt, the early exits, the tired eyes. Not theft, sacrifice. He stumbled to his SUV, slamming the door. His hands shook as he started the engine. Emma wasn't a thief, she was a saint, and he'd assumed the worst. Shame burned his chest, hot and sharp. He drove back to his Lakeshore Drive penthouse, the city's lights mocking him. Inside, the place was sterile glass walls, Marble floors. Art he'd bought for status, not love. He poured a bourbon, the glass cold in his hand. His laptop glowed on the counter. He pulled up Hope Haven's website. Bare Bones, a nonprofit for Chicago's poorest literacy classes, job training, food drives. Photos showed Emma teaching, sorting donations, even painting walls. In every shot, she glowed. Financial reports told a grim story. Rent overdue, supplies scarce. They were months from closing. He clicked on a volunteer profile. Emma Hayes, literacy coordinator. Every kid deserves a chance to dream. James downed his drink. $50 to a rural address, probably her mom's bills. Early departures for this. He'd followed her expecting betrayal. Instead, he'd found, what? Goodness? Purpose? Something he hadn't believed in since his startup days, before money turned everyone into a suspect. He opened his banking app. A few clicks, and $40,000 moved to Hope Haven's account, routed through a shell company. Untraceable. Enough for rent, books, maybe a new heater. He leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Sleep didn't come. The next morning, Emma arrived at the hotel, her eyes heavy. She'd stayed late at the center, helping a new kid with dyslexia. Worth it, but her bones ached. She pushed her cleaning cart down the marble halls, the chandeliers glittering above. Rich folks stayed here, tech moguls, actors, politicians. She kept her head down, invisible. That's how you survived. James watched her from his office. The security feed zoomed in. She moved efficiently, wiping down counters, vacuuming rugs. No complaints, no shortcuts, just work. He'd spent years reading people body language, micro-expressions. Emma's screamed exhaustion, but her hands were steady. Proud. He shut the feed, his stomach twisting. He'd misjudged her. Badly. By noon, he couldn't stand it. He grabbed 2 coffees from the lobby cafe and headed to the staff break room. Emma was there, eating a granola bar, her backpack at her feet. She froze when he walked in. Mr. Carter? Her voice was cautious. He was the boss, distant, untouchable. Why was he here? Thought you might need this. He slid a coffee across the table, sitting opposite. Long shift? She blinked, wrapping her hands around the cup. Yeah, thanks. A pause. Is something wrong? Number. He forced a smile. Just curious. Tell me about yourself, Emma. The words felt clumsy. He wasn't used to this small talk sincerity, but he needed to know her. Not as a suspect, as a person. She hesitated, picking at the cup's lid. Not much to tell. Grew up in southern Illinois. Small town. Moved here for work. Her voice was soft, guarded. You don't need my life story, do you? He leaned forward, elbows on the table. Humor me. What do you do when you're not here? Her eyes flicked to her backpack, then back. I help out at a community center. Teach kids to read. Keeps me busy. She shrugged, like it was nothing. Like giving everything wasn't extraordinary. Sounds important, he said, meaning it. Why kids? She relaxed a fraction, her lips curving. They're honest. They want to learn, you know, but the system screws them over. No books, no tutors. I just try to fix that. A little. He nodded, his chest tight. You're good at it? She laughed, a small, tired sound. I try. They're the real heroes. One kid, Jamal, he's 10, couldn't read a sentence last year. Now he's on chapter books. That's everything. James sipped his coffee, hiding the awe in his eyes. Sounds like you're changing lives. Cheeks pinked. Just doing what I can. She glanced at the clock. I should get back. Thanks for the coffee, Mr. Carter. James, he said, surprising himself. Call me James. She nodded, a ghost of a smile. Okay, James. She grabbed her cart and left, break room door swinging shut. He sat there, the coffee cooling in his hand. She was real. No angle. No game. Just Emma, pouring her heart into a world that didn't deserve her. Over the next week, James found excuses to cross her path. He'd linger in the lobby, pretending to check emails while she dusted. He'd time his coffee runs to her breaks. Each talk was short, cautious, but they added up. She told him about her mom's cancer, the bills piling up. He shared Scrapshi's first app, coded in a dorm room, his love for Chicago's deep dish pizza. Never the big stuff, not the paranoia, not the ex who'd burned him. He overheard her one day, on the phone in the staff room. "I need more hours, Liz. The center's heater shot, and the kids need jackets." Her voice cracked. "I'll figure it out." James froze outside the door, guilt twisting his gut. She was drowning, and he'd thought she was a crook. That night, he sent another donation, $25,000, anonymous, for a computer lab. When Emma burst into the break room days later, eyes shining, he was there, pretending to read a report. "You won't believe it," she told a coworker, voice bright. "Someone donated thousands. We're getting computers, new desks, everything." James hid his smile behind his tablet. "That's great," he said casual. "Who's the donor?" "No idea." She beamed. "Some angel. They saved us." He nodded, his heart racing. An angel. He was no angel, just a man trying to fix a mistake. Weeks passed, and their talks grew longer. One rainy afternoon, they sat in the break room, rain streaking the windows. Emma was quieter, her hands fidgeting. "You okay?" James asked, leaning forward. She sighed, pushing her hair back. "Just tired. Mom's bills are worse. I might have to skip the center for a bit. The kids," her voice broke. "They need me, but I can't be everywhere." He wanted to fix it, write a check, pay the bills. But she'd hate that. Pride was in her spine, her steady hands. "You're doing enough," he said instead. "More than enough." She looked at him, eyes searching. "Why do you care, James? I'm just the help." He flinched. "You're not just anything. You're—" He stopped. The words too big. "You're incredible. You're changing me. You're good at what you do. That matters." She smiled, small but real. "Thanks. That means a lot." They sat in silence, the rain drumming. For the first time, James didn't feel alone, but doubt lingered. Was she too good to be true? He'd trusted before, been burned. He pushed the thought down, but it festered. One morning, Emma found a memo in his office while cleaning. His handwriting notes on her bank transfers, her center hours. Her stomach dropped. He was investigating her. All the talks, the coffee sit was a game. She marched to his office. The paper crumpled in her fist. "Am I a suspect?" Her voice shook, eyes blazing. "Is that why you're nice to me?" James stood, hands raised. "Emma, it's not. Don't." She threw the memo on his desk. "I thought you saw me. But I'm just a thief to you, right?" Tears welled, but she didn't break. "I'm done." She stormed out, leaving him frozen. He wanted to chase her. "Explain I followed you, yes, but I was wrong. I'm sorry." But the words wouldn't come. He sank into his chair, the memo staring back. He'd ruined it, whatever it was. That night, James drove to Hope Haven. The center was alive, kids laughing, parents chatting. Emma was there, teaching, her face soft but tired. He watched from outside, the cold seeping through his coat. She was everything. He wasn't Topin, selfless, real, and he'd hurt her. He pulled out his phone, typing an email to the center's director. Another donation, $50,000, anonymous. For whatever Emma needed, it wasn't enough. It never would be. But it was a start. Inside, Emma hugged a kid goodbye, her smile faint. She didn't know he was there. Didn't know he was falling for her, piece by piece. James turned away, the city swallowing him. He'd fix this. Somehow. Emma pushed her cleaning cart through the Grand Meridian Hotel's gleaming halls, the clatter of wheels echoing off marble. It was a week since she'd confronted James. A week since she'd thrown his memo's betrayal on his desk. Her chest still ached, a dull bruise of anger and hurt. She'd trusted him. Stupid. He was her boss, a millionaire who saw her as a suspect, not a person. She kept her head down, avoiding his office, invisible again. Safer that way. Outside, Chicago's November gray pressed against the windows. Rain streaked the glass, blurring the city's pulse. Emma's hands moved mechanically wipe, polish, vacuum. Her mind was elsewhere. The Hope Haven Community Hub, her kids. Last night she'd stayed late, helping Jamal with a new book. His grin when he finished a chapter pure gold. But the center's heater was coughing, and winter was coming. She needed more hours, more money, always more. She didn't see James watching from the lobby balcony. He leaned on the railing, his tie loosened, eyes tracking her. Guilt gnawed at him, sharp as glass. He'd messed up, badly. That memo notes from his paranoid days had been careless. He hadn't meant for her to find it. Hadn't meant to make her feel. What? Watched? Judged? He didn't even know anymore. All he knew was her face that day, fury, pain, those tears she wouldn't let fall. He'd broken something. He needed to fix it. But how? Another donation? He'd already sent $50,000 to Hope Haven, anonymous, after that night outside the center. It wasn't enough. Money couldn't undo his suspicion, couldn't erase the fact he'd followed her, assumed the worst. He straightened, running a hand through his hair. He'd try talking. Again. She'd avoided him all week, but he wasn't giving up. Emma felt his presence before she saw him. A shift in the air, like static. She was restocking towels in a suite when he appeared in the doorway, holding 2 coffees. Her stomach twisted. "Mr. Carter," she said, voice flat. "No James now. Not after the memo. Emma." He stepped closer, hesitant. "Can we talk?" She kept her eyes on the towels, folding them precisely. "I'm working." "I know. Just 5 minutes." He set a coffee on the dresser. "Please." She paused, her hands still. The please caught her off guard. He wasn't ordering. He was asking. She turned, arms crossed. "What's there to say? You thought I was stealing. You spied on me." He flinched, but didn't look away. "I was wrong. I'm sorry. I made assumptions. Stupid ones." "Stupid?" Her laugh was sharp. "You wrote down my bank transfers, my schedule, like I'm some criminal mastermind. I clean your hotel, Mr. Carter. That's it." He stepped closer, voice low. "I know. I was paranoid. I've been burned before people I trusted. I saw you leaving early, sending money, and I jumped to conclusions. But I was wrong, Emma. About everything." She met his eyes, searching for a lie. Found none. Just regret, raw and open. It softened her, just a fraction. "Why didn't you just ask me?" He rubbed his neck, sheepish. "Because I'm an idiot, and because—" He hesitated. "I didn't know how to talk to you." "Not really." She snorted, turning back to the towels. "You managed fine with all those coffees. That was different." He leaned against the dresser, the coffee steaming between them. "I wanted to know you, not investigate you. But I screwed it up." She didn't respond, her hands busy. He was trying. She saw that, but trust was a fragile thing, and he'd cracked it. "I need to finish this floor," she said finally. "Thanks for the coffee." He nodded, stepping back. "I'm here, Emma, if you want to talk, or yell, whatever you need." She didn't look up as he left, but the coffee's warmth lingered in her hand. She sipped it, frowning. Why did he care? Why keep trying? She pushed the thought away. Work. Focus on work. James retreated to his office, the city skyline gray beyond his window. He sank into his chair, replaying the conversation. She hadn't forgiven him. Not even close. But she'd listened. That was something. His phone buzzed Mark, his CFO and closest friend. Well, friend was generous. Mark was loyal because James paid him well. Trust was transactional. Any luck with the housekeeper? Mark's voice was dry. They'd talked last week, after Emma's confrontation. James had spilled everything following her, the donations, the memo. She hates me, James said, pinching his nose. But I deserved it. Mark laughed. You stalked her, man. What'd you expect? Flowers? I didn't stalk her. James's voice sharpened. I investigated. Call it what you want. You're lucky she didn't quit, or sue. A pause. Why is she still on your radar? You proved she's clean. Move on. James stared at his desk, the memo still there, crumpled. She's different. She's good, Mark. Really good. She teaches kids, gives everything to this community center. I've never met anyone like her. Silence. Then, you're not just guilty. You like her. James didn't answer. He didn't need to. Mark sighed. Be careful, okay? You're not exactly Prince Charming, and she's not your type. What's that supposed to mean? She's real. You. Paranoid. Workaholic. Rich. You live in different worlds. James hung up, Mark's words stinging. Different worlds. Maybe. But Emma's world, kids reading, parents grateful. That warm classroom felt more alive than his glass penthouse ever had. He opened his laptop, pulling up Hope Haven's site. A new post. Anonymous donor saves center with $50,000 gift. A photo showed Emma, smiling, surrounded by kids with new books. His chest tightened. She deserved more than his apologies. She deserved… what? Him? Number. She deserved better. Emma's days blurred hotel, diner, center. She avoided James, but his words stuck. I was wrong. I'm sorry. She wanted to believe him. Wanted to believe the coffees, the talks, were real. But trust was a risk, and she'd learned early not to take risks. Growing up in rural Illinois, she'd watched her mom work double shifts, her dad leave when the bills piled up. Trust got you hurt. Hard work got you through. At Hope Haven, the kids kept her grounded. The new donation, $50,000. A miracle meant new books, a fixed heater, even a computer lab. She'd cried when the director told her, relief flooding her. Someone out there cared. She wished she could thank them. The kids were thrilled, especially Mia, who'd started writing her own stories. Miss Emma, look. Mia held up a notebook, her handwriting shaky but proud. It's about a superhero teacher. Emma hugged her, laughing. You're the superhero, kiddo. Moments like this made the exhaustion worth it. But money was still tight. Her mom's chemo was ongoing, and the diner cut her shifts. She'd have to skip the center some nights. The thought hurt more than she'd admit. One evening, she overheard parents at the center whispering, that donor, think it's someone local? Gotta be rich. Who else has that kind of cash? Emma paused, wiping down a table. Rich. Like James. The thought hit her. Unbidden. Number impossible. He was paranoid, not generous. But the timing right after their fight nagged at her. She shook it off. Wishful thinking. James couldn't stay away. He started showing up at the hotel's staff room, always with coffee, always with a question. How's the center? Kids doing okay? She answered in monosyllables at first, but his persistence wore her down. He wasn't pushy, just there. Steady. One day, he asked about her mom. She's fighting, Emma said, stirring her coffee. Chemo's rough, but she's tough. He nodded, eyes soft. You're tough too. Taking care of her, the kids, this job. I don't know how you do it. She shrugged, uncomfortable. You just do. No choice. There's always a choice, he said quietly. You choose to help. That's rare. Her cheeks warmed. She looked away, sipping her coffee. You don't know me, James. I'm trying to. His voice was earnest, almost pleading. If you'll let me. She didn't answer, but the words lingered. He was trying. She saw it in the way he listened, the way he didn't push. But the memo still burned in her mind. Trust was a leap, and she wasn't ready. Winter deepened, Chicago's streets icing over. Emma's routine grew brutal. 6 a.m. hotel shifts, diner nights, center when she could. Her mom's bills climbed, and the center's needs didn't stop. One night, she collapsed at Hope Haven, exhaustion winning. She woke on a cot, a blanket over her, the director M's, Rosa hovering. You can't keep this up, Mija, Rosa said, handing her water. You're burning out. I'm fine, Emma lied, sitting up. The kids need me. They need you alive. Rosa's voice was firm. Let us help. You're not alone. Emma nodded, but the words felt hollow. Alone was her default. Always had been. The next day, James found her in the break room, her eyes red. Emma? He slid into the chair across from her. What's wrong? She shook her head, wiping her face. Nothing. Just tired. He didn't buy it. Talk to me. Please. She sighed, the weight too heavy. My mom's bills, the center. I can't do it all. I'm failing them. You're not failing. His voice was fierce. You're carrying too much. Let me help. Her eyes snapped to his. Help? Like what, write a check? I don't need your pity, James. It's not pity. He leaned forward, urgent. I see you, Emma. What you do, it's incredible. I just, I want to make it easier. She laughed, bitter. You don't get it. I don't want easy. I want. She stopped, unsure. Respect? Trust? Something she couldn't name? Tell me, he said, soft but firm. What do you want? She looked at him. Really looked. His eyes were open, unguarded. No memo. No suspicion. Just him. I want to keep going, she said finally. For the kids. For my mom. But I'm scared I can't. You can. He reached across the table, not touching, but close. You're stronger than anyone I've ever met. But you don't have to do it alone. She didn't pull away, didn't snap, just sat, letting his words settle. For the first time, she wondered if he meant it. James left the break room, his heart pounding. She hadn't shut him out. Not completely. It was progress. Fragile, but real. He drove to Hope Haven that night, parking across the street. The center glowed, kids' laughter spilling out. Emma was there, reading to a group, her voice warm. He didn't go in, didn't want to intrude. But watching her patience, her joy did something to him. Unraveled a knot he'd carried for years. Back home, he called Mark. I need to do more, he said, pacing his penthouse. For the center. For her, Mark sighed. You're in deep, aren't you? What's the plan by her love? Number. James's voice was sharp. It's not about that. It's about doing something real. Not just money. Something that matters. Like what? I don't know yet. He stared at the city lights, but I'm figuring it out. Emma started noticing things. New supplies at the center pencils, notebooks, a coffee maker in the staff room. Not donations, just there. Rosa shrugged when asked. Some guardian angel, I guess. Emma's thoughts drifted to James. The timing, the coffees, his questions about the center. Was it him? She pushed the idea away. Too much like Hope. Hope was dangerous. But he kept showing up. Not pushy, not demanding, just present. One day, he brought her a sandwich during her break. You skipped lunch, he said, casual. Eat. She raised an eyebrow. You keeping tabs on my meals now? He grinned, unapologetic. Someone's gotta. She took the sandwich, her guard slipping. Thanks. They ate in silence, the break room quiet. It felt normal, easy, dangerous, her mind warned. But her heart didn't listen. By December, Chicago was a frozen maze, snow piling high. Emma's mom had a good week chemo, was working. For now, the center was thriving, the new lab buzzing with kids learning to code. Emma taught her classes, her energy stretched thin but holding. James was a constant now coffees, small talk, the occasional sandwich. She didn't trust him fully. Not yet. But she didn't hate him anymore. One afternoon, he found her in the lobby, polishing a railing. Got plans for the holidays? He asked, leaning against a pillar. She shrugged. Work, Mom, the usual. No center? Not this week. Kids are with family. She paused, wiping her hands. You? He looked away, his smile fading. Work. Always work. No family? Not really. His voice was quiet. Parents are gone, no siblings, just me. She studied him, seeing the loneliness he hid. That's rough. He shrugged, forcing a grin. I manage. But you've got people. The kids, your mom. That's something. Yeah. She smiled, small but real. It is. He nodded, stepping back. See you tomorrow, Emma. As he walked away, she felt a tug. Not pity, not anger. Something softer, something new. The center's holiday party was a week later. Emma helped set up string lights, folding tables, a potluck spread. Kids ran wild, parents laughed, music played. She was hanging a streamer when James walked in, carrying a box of books. Her heart skipped. What are you doing here? She asked, climbing down the ladder. He set the box down, sheepish. Rosa said you needed supplies. I had some extras. She raised an eyebrow. Extras? Yeah. He rubbed his neck. Thought the kids might like them. She opened the box new books, glossy and bright. Her throat tightened. This is a lot. He shrugged, avoiding her eyes. It's nothing. It wasn't nothing. She knew it. He knew it. But neither said it. The party was chaos, kids singing, parents dancing, food disappearing. James stayed, awkward at first, but the kids pulled him in. Mia made him read her story, and he did, his voice steady. Emma watched, her chest warm. He fit here, somehow. Not the millionaire, just James. Later, they stood by the dessert table, paper plates in hand. You didn't have to come, she said soft. Wanted to. He met her eyes. This place. It's special. You're special. Her cheeks burned. She looked away, but a smile crept out. Careful, Mr. Carter. That's almost a compliment. He laughed, the sound easy. Almost. For a moment, the world was just them, the party fading. Trust was still a leap. But she was closer to jumping. Emma stood in the Hope Haven community hub, the holiday party's warmth still lingering. The string lights cast a soft glow, and the kids' laughter echoed in her memory. James had been there, awkward, out of place, but trying. His box of books, his quiet smile, the way he'd read to Mia. It stuck with her, like a song she couldn't shake. She swept the floor, the broom's rhythm steadying her. Chicago's winter pressed against the windows, snow piling in the alleys. January loomed, cold and unforgiving. She hadn't seen James since the party. The hotel was quiet over the holidays, and she'd taken extra diner shifts to cover her mom's latest hospital bill. But his absence felt heavy. She hated admitting it. He'd hurt her spite on her, judged her. Yet those coffees, those talks, the way he'd looked at her last week, like she was more than the help. It stirred something. Hope, maybe. Dangerous. Stupid hope. At the Grand Meridian, Emma pushed her cleaning cart through the empty halls. The chandeliers glittered, mocking her worn sneakers. She avoided James's office, but her eyes drifted to it anyway. Was he there? Did he care? She shook her head. Focus, work. The kids. Her mom. That's what mattered. James sat in his penthouse. The city's skyline, a cold sparkle beyond the glass. His laptop glowed with Hope Haven's latest newsletter. A photo showed Emma teaching, her smile bright but tired. He'd sent another donation, $30,000, anonymous for a new tutoring program. It wasn't enough. Nothing was. He'd hurt her, and no amount of money could fix that. He needed to show her he was different. But how? His phone buzzed. Mark, his CFO, video calling. James answered, forcing a neutral expression. What's up? Mark's face filled the screen, his office cluttered behind him. You're still moping about the housekeeper, aren't you? She's not just a housekeeper, James snapped, then caught himself. And I'm not moping. Right, Mark smirked. You're just philanthropically obsessed. Another donation, huh? What's this? Number 3. James didn't answer. Mark leaned forward. Serious now. Look, I get it. She's a saint. You're guilty. But you're playing with fire. She's not your redemption arc, James. She's a person. I know that. His voice was tight. I'm not trying to save her. I want to be better. Because of her. Mark sighed. Then stop hiding behind checks. Talk to her. Be real. Or let her go. James hung up, Mark's words echoing. Be real. He'd tried coffees, apologies, the party. But Emma's walls were high, and he didn't blame her. He'd built his own fortress, after all paranoia, control, money. She was the first person who'd made him want to tear it down. Emma's days were a grind. Hotel by 6 a.m., diner until midnight, center when she could. Her mom's chemo was working, but the bills kept coming. Hope Haven buzzed with new energy. The latest donation meant tutors, better books, even art classes. The kids were thriving. Jamal wrote his first short story. Mia drew a comic, but Emma was fraying. She'd fainted at the diner last week, exhaustion winning. She hadn't told anyone, couldn't afford to. One morning, James found her in the hotel break room, her hands wrapped around a cold coffee. She looked fragile. Dark circles, slumped shoulders, his chest tightened. Emma, he said, sitting across from her. You okay? She startled, then shrugged. Fine, just long night. He didn't buy it. You look like you haven't slept in a week. Her eyes flicked up, sharp. Thanks for the compliment. He winced. I didn't mean. I'm worried. You're doing too much. She laughed, bitter. No choice. Bills don't pay themselves. He leaned forward, voice low. Let me help. Not pity, just help. Her jaw tightened. I told you, I don't need your charity. It's not charity. He searched her eyes, desperate. You're killing yourself, Emma. The kids, your mom, they need you, not a martyr. She froze, his words hitting hard. Martyr. Was that what she was? She looked away, her throat tight. I can handle it. I know you can, his voice softened. But you don't have to. Not alone. She didn't answer, but her hands loosened on the cup. He stood, leaving a fresh coffee beside her. I'm here, Emma. Whenever you're ready. As he left, she stared at the coffee, her heart tugging. He wasn't giving up. Why? She didn't trust it, but she wanted to. At Hope Haven, the kids noticed her fatigue. Miss Emma, you okay? Jamal asked, his notebook open. You look sad. She forced a smile, ruffling his hair. Just tired, buddy. Let's see that story. He beamed, reading aloud. His words were clumsy but proud, and her heart swelled. This was why she kept going. But Rosa, the director, wasn't fooled. After class, she pulled Emma aside. You're running on fumes, Mija. Take a night off. I can't, Emma said, packing books. The kids? We'll survive one night. Rosa's voice was firm. You're no good to them if you collapse. Emma nodded, but the words didn't stick. Alone was her default. Always had been. James started showing up more. Not just at the hotel, but at the center. He'd drop off supplies, notebooks, snacks, a new printer, extras, he'd say, shrugging. Rosa loved him. The kids did too. Mia made him a drawing a stick figure James with a superhero cape. He kept it in his office, tacked to a board usually reserved for contracts. Emma watched, wary but softening. He wasn't flashy about it. No big checks, no speeches. Just there. One night, he stayed late at Hope Haven, helping her stack chairs. The center was quiet, the kids gone. Snow fell outside, soft and steady. You don't have to do this, she said, breaking the silence. The supplies, the visits. Why are you here? He paused, a chair in his hands. Because I want to be. Because this place. It's real. You're real. She crossed her arms, skeptical. Real? What's that mean? He set the chair down, meeting her eyes. You care. About the kids, this place, your mom. You give everything, no strings. I've never seen that before. Her cheeks warmed. She looked away, stacking another chair. It's just what you do. No, it's not. His voice was quiet but firm. Most people don't. I didn't. Not until I saw you. She froze, his words sinking in. Saw her. Not as a cleaner, not as a suspect. As her. You don't know me, James, she said, softer now. I'm trying to. He stepped closer, not crowding, just close enough. If you'll let me. She didn't answer, but her walls cracked, just a little. They finished stacking in silence, the snow muffling the world outside. February brought a brutal cold snap. Emma's mom had a setback pneumonia on top of the cancer. The hospital bills doubled. Emma cut her center hours, picking up extra diner shifts. She hated it, but what choice was there? The kids missed her. Jamal left a note. Come back soon, Miss Emma. She cried, reading it, alone in her tiny apartment. James noticed her absence. The hotel felt emptier without her quiet presence. He asked Rosa, who filled him in Mom's illness, the bills, Emma's exhaustion. His stomach twisted. He wanted to help pay the bills, hire a nurse. But she'd hate that. Pride was her armor. He had to find another way. He started small. A grocery delivery to her. Apartment basics, nothing flashy. A note. Take care of yourself. Jay. She didn't mention it, but he saw her eating an apple from the batch during a break. Progress. One day, he found her in the hotel lobby, polishing a mirror. Her hands shook, her face pale. Emma, he said, stepping close. You're not okay. She didn't look at him. I'm fine. You're not. He touched her arm, gentle. She flinched but didn't pull away. What's going on? Her voice cracked. Mom's worse. The bills. I can't keep up. And the kids, I'm letting them down. You're not letting anyone down. His voice was fierce. You're doing more than anyone could. She shook her head, tears spilling. It's not enough. He guided her to a bench, sitting beside her. Listen to me. You're enough. You've always been enough. Let me help. Not money, just me. She wiped her eyes, searching his face. Why do you keep doing this? Why do you care? He hesitated, then spoke, raw. Because you're the first person who's made me want to be better. You're everything I didn't know I needed. Her breath caught. She didn't speak, but her hand rested near his, close enough to feel the warmth. For a moment, the world was just them. Hope Haven's annual fundraiser was in March. Emma helped organize, despite her exhaustion. The center needed new programs, repairs, more staff. She hung posters, arranged tables, her mind half on her mom. James volunteered too, surprising her. He hauled chairs, set up lights, even charmed donors with his tech mogul smile. The kids adored him. Mia made him wear a paper crown, and he did, grinning. The night of the fundraiser, the center sparkled. Tables draped in white, string lights twinkling, a small stage for speeches. Emma wore a simple black dress, her hair pinned up. She felt out of place among the donors' rich folks in suits, sipping wine. James was there, in a tailored navy suit, blending in but watching her. Their eyes met across the room, and her heart skipped. He looked good, too good. Rosa called her to the stage, announcing a volunteer award, Emma's award. She froze, then walked up, the applause loud in her ears. This is unexpected, she said into the mic, her voice shaky. Hope Haven saved me as much as I've tried to save it. These kids, these families, they're my family. And someone out there, some anonymous donor, kept us going. Whoever you are, thank you. You're our angel. James, in the back, clenched his hands. She was thanking him, and she didn't even know. His throat tightened. He wanted to tell her about the donations, the night he followed her, how she'd changed him. But not here. Not now. After her speech, she found him by the dessert table, her plaque in hand. Didn't expect to see you here, she said, a half smile. Wouldn't miss it. He nodded at the plaque. Congrats. You deserve it. She blushed, fidgeting. Thanks. It's a lot. You're a lot, he said soft. In a good way. She laughed, the sound light. Careful, James. That's definitely a compliment. He grinned, stepping closer. Maybe I meant it. Their eyes locked, the air charged. Then her phone rang her mom's nurse. She stepped away, her face paling as she listened. I have to go, she said, hanging up. Mom's in the ER. I'll drive you, James said, already grabbing his coat. She hesitated, then nodded. Okay. The hospital was stark, fluorescent lights buzzing. Emma sat by her mom's bed, holding her hand. Pneumonia again. Stable, but weak. James waited in the hall, giving her space. When she emerged, her eyes were red but dry. She's sleeping, she said, voice hollow. They're keeping her overnight. He stood, hands in his pockets. You need anything? Food? Coffee? She shook her head, then looked at him, really looked. Why are you here, James? You don't have to be. I want to be. His voice was steady. You shouldn't be alone. Her lip trembled, but she nodded. Thanks. They sat in the waiting room, the silence heavy but not uncomfortable. She leaned her head back, closing her eyes. He watched her, his heart aching. She was strong, but she was breaking, and he'd do anything to hold her together. The next week, Emma was back at work, her mom still in the hospital. James kept his distance, but he checked in texts, small gestures. A thermos of soup left on her cart. A note. For you, Jay. She didn't thank him, but she ate the soup, and that was enough. At Hope Haven, the fundraiser's success meant new programs. Emma threw herself into planning, ignoring her exhaustion. James helped, showing up with coffee, ideas, even a laptop for the new coding class. Rosa teased them. You two make a good team. Emma rolled her eyes, but her smile was real. James caught it, his heart lifting. They were building something not just at the center, but between them. Trust. Maybe. Or the start of it. One night, they stayed late, organizing the new lab. The center was quiet, the snow outside thick. Emma sat at a table, sorting cables. James handed her a coffee, sitting across. "You ever think about the future?" he asked, casual. She raised an eyebrow. "Like tomorrow? Or big picture?" "Big picture." He leaned forward, elbows on the table. "Your dreams. What do you want?" She paused, her hands still. "I want to teach. Not just here, but full-time. Get my degree. Help kids like Jamal, Mia. Give them a real shot." Her voice softened. "But it's hard. Mom's bills, the center, it's always something." He nodded, listening. "You'll get there. You're unstoppable." She laughed, soft. "You sound so sure." "I am." His eyes held hers, steady. "I believe in you, Emma." Her breath caught. No one had said that. Not like he did. Not with that quiet certainty. She looked down, her cheeks warm. "What about you? What's your dream?" He hesitated, then spoke, raw. "I didn't have one. Not for years. Just work. Money. Control. But now." He paused, searching her face. "I want something real. Something that matters. Like this place. Like you." Her heart pounded. She didn't speak, didn't move. The air was heavy, charged. He reached across the table, his hand near hers, not touching. "Emma?" "I." Her phone buzzed, shattering the moment. "The hospital." She answered, her face draining. "I have to go," she said, standing. "Mom's worse." He stood too. "I'm driving." She didn't argue this time. They left, the snow swallowing their footsteps, the unspoken words hanging between them. Emma sat in the hospital waiting room, her hands clasped tight. The fluorescent lights buzzed, casting harsh shadows. Her mom's condition had worsened pneumonia, complicating her cancer treatment. The doctors were optimistic, but the word stable felt like a lie when paired with "for now." James sat beside her, silent but steady. His presence was a lifeline, though she'd never admit it. Chicago's snowstorm raged outside, muffling the world. It was past midnight, and the hospital felt like a limbo. "You should go," Emma said, her voice hoarse. "You don't need to stay." James shifted, his coat draped over the chair. "I'm not leaving you here alone." She glanced at him, his face tired but resolute. No suit tonight, just a sweater, jeans, his hair mussed from running his hands through it. He looked the human, not the tech mogul, not her boss, just James. Her heart tugged, but she pushed it down. "I'm fine," she lied. "You're not." His voice was gentle, but firm. "And that's okay. You don't have to be." She looked away, her throat tight. He was right, and she hated it. She wasn't fine. Her mom was fading, the bills were crushing, and the kids at Hope Haven needed her. She was drowning, and he saw it. "Why do you keep doing this?" she whispered. "Showing up, helping. You don't owe me anything." He leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "It's not about owing. It's about you. You're worth showing up for." Her breath caught. No one had ever said that. Not her dad, who'd walked out. Not her high school teachers, who'd written her off. Not even her mom, who loved her but was too sick to say it. She stared at her hands, the words sinking in. Worth it. Was she? They sat in silence, the hospital's hum filling the space. She didn't thank him. Didn't need to. His presence was enough. Morning broke, gray and cold. Emma's mom was moved to a regular room, breathing easier. The doctor's update was cautious but hopeful. Emma stood by the bed, brushing her mom's thin hair back. "You're tough, Mom," she murmured. "Keep fighting." James waited in the hall, a coffee in each hand. He handed her one, their fingers brushing. "How is she?" "Better." Emma sipped, the warmth grounding her. "They're keeping her a few days. Tests." He nodded, studying her. "You need sleep. And food. Real food. Not vending machine junk." She managed a half smile. "Bossy, aren't you?" Concerned. His eyes held hers, soft but steady. "Come on. I know a place." She hesitated, then nodded. She was too tired to argue. They left the hospital, the snow crunching underfoot. His SUV was parked nearby. the heater blasting as they climbed in. He drove to a small dinner, not the one she worked at, but a cozy spot with checkered tablecloths and the smell of bacon. They slid into a booth, the waitress greeting James by name. Regular. Emma raised an eyebrow, unwrapping her scarf. He grinned, sheepish. I like their pancakes. Sue me. She laughed, the sound surprising her. It felt normal, like they weren't a millionaire and a cleaner, just two people sharing breakfast. They ordered pancakes for him, eggs for Heron, talked. Not about the hospital or the center, but small things. Her love for old sci-fi books, his secret obsession with jazz records. The conversation flowed, easy, like the coffee refills. You're not what I expected, she said, pushing her plate away. He tilted his head. What'd you expect? She shrugged, honest, cold, distant. Some rich guy who doesn't see people like me. He winced, but didn't look away. I was that guy, for a long time, but you make me want to be different. Her cheeks warmed. She fiddled with her napkin, unsure what to say. He didn't push, just paid the bill and drove her home. At her apartment, cramped walk-up in a rough neighborhood, she paused at the door. Thanks, James, for everything. He nodded, hands in his pockets. Get some rest, Emma. I'll check in later. She watched him drive off, her heart a tangle. Trust was still a leap, but she was inching toward the edge. Back at the Grand Meridian, Emma threw herself into work. Her mom's hospital stay stretched into a week, and the bills loomed like storm clouds. She picked up extra shifts, her body aching but her mind focused. The center was a bright spot, new tutors, happy kids, the computer lab humming. Jamal's stories were getting longer, Mia's drawings bolder. But Emma's absence weighed on her. She missed them. James was a constant now, not overbearing, just there. A coffee on her cart, a text checking on her mom. Once, he left a sci-fi paperback in the break room with a note. Thought you'd like this, Jay. She read it in one night, smiling at the dog-eared pages. He was trying, really trying, and it was working. One afternoon, she found him in the hotel lobby, reviewing contracts. He looked up, smiling. Hey, how's your mom? Home tomorrow, she said, leaning against a pillar. Weak, but okay. Good. He closed his laptop. And you? Holding up? She shrugged, but her smile was real. Barely. You? He laughed, soft. Same. Want to grab a coffee? Not here. Somewhere. Normal. She raised an eyebrow. Normal? You know, no chandeliers, no staff staring. She grinned, despite herself. You're on. They ended up at a corner cafe, all mismatched chairs and chalkboard menus. The barista called her "On," and James looked out of place in his tailored coat. They talked for hours her childhood in rural Illinois, his startup days in a garage. He told her about his parents, gone too young in a car crash. She shared her dad's abandonment, the scar it left. The walls between them thinned, their words a bridge. You're not alone, you know, he said, stirring his coffee. Not anymore. End of. She met his eyes, her heart racing. Neither are you. The air shifted, heavy with possibility. She looked away first, but the moment lingered. At Hope Haven, spring teased the air, snow melting into slush. The center was thriving, but Emma's exhaustion was a shadow. She taught her classes, her energy stretched thin. Rosa noticed, pulling her aside one night. You're fading, Mija. Take a break. I can't, Emma said, stacking books. The kids need me. They need you whole, Rosa countered. You're not a machine. Emma nodded, but the words didn't stick. She was used to carrying it all. Always had been. James started showing up at the center more, not just with supplies, but with time. He helped Jamal with coding, read to Mia, even fixed a leaky sink. The kids called him Mr. J, and Rosa teased him mercilessly. Emma watched, her guard slipping. He wasn't playing a role. He was real. One evening, they stayed late, organizing the lab. The center was quiet, the kids gone. Emma sorted cables, James tested monitors. You're good with them, she said, breaking the silence. The kids. He smiled, plugging in a keyboard. They're easy to like. Honest. Like you. Her cheeks warmed. Flatterer. Truth teller. He stepped closer, his voice soft. You make this place alive. You make me feel alive. Her heart pounded. She set the cables down, meeting his eyes. James' eye. He waited, not pushing. She took a breath. Raw. I'm scared. Of trusting you. Of this. He nodded, his face open. I know. I messed up. But I'm here, Emma. For real. She didn't speak, but her hand brushed his. A spark in the touch. They stood there, the world holding its breath. April brought warmer days, but Emma's mom took a turn. Another infection, another hospital stay. Emma was at her breaking point, juggling work, the center, and visits. James stepped up without asking, driving her to the hospital, bringing meals, even covering a shift so she could sleep. She didn't thank him, not with words. But her looks softened, her smiles lingered. One night, they sat in the hospital cafeteria, picking at stale sandwiches. You don't have to keep doing this, she said, her voice quiet. I'm a mess. He leaned forward, eyes fierce. You're not a mess. You're strong, and I'm not going anywhere. Her lip trembled. She reached for his hand, squeezing it. Thank you. He squeezed back, his thumb brushing her knuckles. Always. The center's spring fundraiser was a big deal. New programs, more staff, a chance to grow. Emma threw herself into planning, despite her exhaustion. James helped, hauling tables, charming donors, even designing flyers. Rosa called them a power couple, and Emma laughed it off, but the words stuck. They were a team, somehow. The night of the fundraiser, Hope Haven sparkled. White linens, twinkling lights, a stage for speeches. Emma wore a borrowed dress, simple but elegant, her hair loose. She felt exposed among the donor stack execs, philanthropists, James's world. He was there, in a sharp suit, but his eyes were on her, warm and steady. Rosa gave her another award, Volunteer of the Year. Emma took the stage, her hands shaking. This place, it's home, she said, her voice cracking. These kids, these families, they're my heart, and our donors. You're angels. You've kept us alive. Thank you. James, in the crowd, felt his chest tighten. She was thanking him, and she didn't know. He wanted to tell her about the donations, the night he followed her, how she'd rewritten his world. But fear stopped him. Would she hate him? See it as manipulation? He stayed silent, clapping with the rest. After, they stood by the dessert table, her plaque between them. You clean up nice, she teased, eyeing his suit. He grinned, loosening his tie. You too. That dress. Wow. She blushed, swatting his arm. Behave. Never. His voice was light, but his eyes were serious. You were amazing up there. Thanks. She fidgeted with the plaque. Feels weird. Being seen. You deserve to be seen, he said, soft. Every day. Her heart raced. She stepped closer, the air electric. James! Her phone rang. The hospital. Her mom was stable, but they needed her. She hung up, her face pale. I have to go. I'm driving, he said, already moving. She didn't argue. They left, the night swallowing them, the unspoken words heavy between them. Emma's mom stabilized, but the scare lingered. She was back home, weak but fighting. Emma was a ghost, moving through work, the center, the hospital. James was her shadow, quiet, steady, there. He brought coffee, drove her home, listened when she rambled. She didn't push him away anymore, couldn't. He was part of her world now, whether she was ready or not. One afternoon, they sat in the center's classroom, sorting donations. The kids were at recess, their laughter drifting in. Emma paused, a book in her hand. I used to think you were untouchable, she said, not looking at him. Like you didn't need anyone. He set down a box, his voice quiet. I thought I didn't. Then I met you. She met his eyes, her heart pounding. You're not what I thought, James. You're good. He smiled, soft. You make me want to be. She reached for his hand, her fingers lacing with his. It was small, but it was everything. Trust. Fragile but growing. May brought sun, the city waking up. Emma's mom was stronger, the center thriving. James was a fixture, now helping with classes, fixing tech, joking with Rosa. The kids adored him. Mia made him a new drawing a superhero team, him and Emma. He framed it, hanging it in his office. Emma saw it and laughed, her heart full. One night, they stayed late, planning a summer program. The center was dark, the city quiet. Emma sat on a table, swinging her legs. James leaned nearby, a laptop open. "You ever think about going back to school?" he asked, casual. She nodded, her voice soft. "All the time. Teaching. Full-time. But money. Time. It's a lot. You'd be amazing." He closed the laptop, turning to her. "You already are." She smiled, but it faded. "Sometimes I wonder, what if I can't? What if I fail?" "You won't." His voice was fierce. "You're Emma Hayes. You don't fail. You fight." Her eyes stung. She slid off the table, standing close. "You really believe that?" "With everything I've got." He stepped closer, his hand brushing her arm. "Emma, She kissed him. Soft, tentative, but real. He froze, then kissed her back, his hands gentle on her face. It was brief, but it shifted the world. She pulled back, breathless. I didn't mean. Don't apologize." He smiled, his thumb brushing her cheek. "I've wanted that for months." She laughed, shaky. "Me too." They stood there, the classroom, a cocoon. Trust wasn't a leap anymore. It was a step, and she'd taken it. The next weeks were a blur of newness. They didn't name it boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. They just were. Coffees became dates. Talks became deeper. He told her about his ex, wife's betrayal, the paranoia it birthed. She shared her fear of failing her mom, her kids. They fit, somehow, their broken pieces matching. But James carried a secret. The donations, the night he followed her. He wanted to tell her, but fear stopped him. She'd trusted him finally. What if the truth broke it? He pushed it down, but it festered, a shadow in his joy. Emma noticed his quiet moments, the way he'd pause, like he was holding something back. "You okay?" she asked one night, curled on his penthouse couch. The city sparkled below, jazz playing soft. He nodded, kissing her forehead. "Just happy. With you." She smiled, but the question lingered. He'd tell her. Soon. He had to. June arrived, warm and bright. Hope Haven planned a community fair games. Food, a chance to celebrate. Emma and James worked side by side, painting signs, organizing booths. Rosa called them the dynamic duo, and the kids cheered. Jamal made a banner. "Miss Emma and Mr. J. Rock." Emma laughed, hugging him. James watched, his heart full. This was his world now. Her world. The fair was a hit. Kids ran wild. Parents danced. Donors mingled. Emma was everywhere serving food, judging a sack race, hugging Mia. James helped, but his eyes were on her. She glowed, her laugh a melody. He loved her. He hadn't said it, but he felt it, deep and sure. As the sun set, they stood by the cotton candy machine, sticky-fingered and tired. "This was perfect," she said, leaning against him. "Thank you." "Oh, for what?" He wrapped an arm around her. "You did this." "We did?" She looked up, her eyes warm. "I'm glad you're here, James." He kissed her, soft and slow. "Me too." But the secret weighed heavier. He had to tell her. Not tonight, with the fair's joy around them, but soon, before it broke them. That night, Emma stayed at his penthouse, too tired to go home. They fell asleep on the couch, her head on his chest. He watched her, the city's lights painting her face. She was his home, he realized. But the truth was a storm, and it was coming. Emma woke on James's penthouse couch, the Chicago skyline a soft glow through the floor-to-ceiling windows. His arm was around her, his breathing steady. She shifted, careful not to wake him, and watched the city stir. June's warmth had settled in, melting the last of winter's bite. Her heart felt full scary, unfamiliar, but full. James was part of her now, woven into her days like the kids at Hope Haven, like her mom's quiet strength. But a nagging doubt lingered. He was holding something back. She saw it in his pauses, his too quick smiles. Trust was new for them both, and it was fragile. She slipped out of his arm, padding to the kitchen. The coffee maker hummed, filling the space with a familiar scent. Her mom was home, recovering. The center was thriving. And James, he was hers. Maybe. The thought made her cheeks warm. She poured 2 mugs, glancing at him. He stirred, blinking awake, his hair a mess. Morning, he mumbled, sitting up. His smile was sleepy, real. You're up early. Habit. She handed him a mug, sitting beside him. Thanks for last night. The fare was amazing. He took the coffee, his fingers brushing hers. You made it amazing. I just hauled tables. She laughed, soft. You did more than that. The kids love you. Rosa's half in love with you. He grinned, sipping. Good to know I've got fans. But you're the star, Emma. Her heart tugged. She wanted to ask about the pauses, the secrets, but the moment felt too good to break. We're a team, she said instead, leaning against him. Right? Always. His voice was quiet, but his eyes held a weight. She let it go. For now. Summer bloomed, Chicago buzzing with festivals and heat. Emma and James settled into a rhythm. Work, center, stolen moments. Dinners at hole-in-the-wall joints, walks by Lake Michigan, late nights planning Hope Haven summer programs. Her mom was stronger, joking again, even cooking. The hospital bills still loomed, but James's quiet help groceries, a paid utility, biliced the strain. She didn't fight it anymore. It wasn't pity. It was care. At the center, the kids thrived. Jamal's stories filled notebooks. Mia's comics were a hit, pinned up in the classroom. James was Mr. J, now teaching coding, fixing tech, laughing with Rosa. Emma watched him, her walls crumbling. He fit here, in her world. But the doubt lingered. He'd tense sometimes, mid-conversation, like he was swallowing words. She didn't push. Trust took time. One evening, they sat on the center's steps, the sunset painting the sky pink. Kids played nearby, their shouts a joyful hum. Emma leaned against James, her head on his shoulder. You ever think about the future? She asked, echoing his question from months ago. He laced his fingers with hers. All the time. You? She nodded, her voice soft. I want more. School. Teaching. A real classroom. But I want this tooth center. The kids. You. His breath caught. He kissed her temple, his voice low. You've got me, Emma. For whatever you want. She smiled, but the doubt flickered. You sure? You're... you. Big life, big world. I'm just... everything. He turned her face to his, eyes fierce. You're everything. She kissed him, slow and sure, the world fading. But the question stayed. What was he hiding? July brought a heat wave, the city simmering. Hope Haven's summer camp was in full swing art, coding, reading. Emma and James ran it together, a chaotic, joyful mess. Rosa called them the Dream Team, and the kids made a banner. Miss Emma and Mr. J. Forever. Emma laughed, but her heart swelled. Forever. Was that possible? Her mom's health held steady, and Emma dared to dream. She researched teaching programs, late at night in her apartment. James helped, printing applications, finding scholarships. You're doing this, he said, handing her a folder. No excuses. She hugged him, tears pricking. You're pushy. Supportive, he corrected, grinning. You're going to change the world, Emma Hayes. She believed him for the first time. But the secret lingered, a shadow in his eyes. One night, they stayed late at the center, sorting camp supplies. The air was sticky, the fans useless. Emma sat on the floor, surrounded by paint bottles. James fiddled with a laptop, his brow furrowed. She watched him, the doubt too loud to ignore. James, she said, setting a bottle down. What's going on? He looked up, startled. What? You're holding something back. I see it. You get quiet, like you're hiding something. Her voice was steady, but her heart raced. If we're real, you need to tell me. He froze, his hands still. The room was silent, the city's hum distant. He set the laptop down, rubbing his face. Emma, don't lie. She stood, arms crossed. Please. I can't do this, if you're not honest. He stood too, his eyes raw. I'm not lying. I just, I don't know how to say it without screwing this up. Her stomach twisted. Say it anyway. He took a breath, pacing. The donations. To the center. The big ones 50,000, 30, the computers. That was me. She blinked, processing. You? All of them? He nodded, his voice low. Anonymous. Through a shell company. I didn't want you to know. Her mind reeled. The heater, the books, the labum. Why didn't you tell me? He looked away, shame in his eyes. Because I followed you, Emma. That first night when I thought you were stealing, I saw you teaching, saw what you did. It changed me. But I was ashamed. I'd assumed the worst. I thought if you knew, you'd hate me. Her breath caught, followed her, spied. The memo flashed in her mind, the old hurt flaring. You stalked me? Number. His voice was desperate. I mean, yes, but not like I was paranoid. Stupid. I thought you were hiding something. But when I saw you with the kids, I saw you. The real you. And I wanted to help, not to control you, not to pity you, to be part of something good. She stepped back, her heart pounding. You manipulated my life. The center, my kids, you decided what we needed, without asking. I know. He stepped closer, hands raised. I was wrong. I should have told you, but I was scared. Scared you'd see me as the guy who didn't trust you. Scared I'd lose you. Her eyes stung, anger and hurt colliding. You should have trusted me. I let you in, James. I love you. And you kept this from me. His face shifted, hope and pain mixing. You love me? She laughed, bitter. Not now. You lied by omission. You let me think some angel saved us. When it was you, playing God. I wasn't playing God. His voice cracked. I was trying to be better. For you. For this place. I love you, Emma. I've loved you since that night. Since you showed me what real matters. She froze, his words a storm. Love. He loved her. But the betrayal burned. I need time, she said, her voice shaking. I need to think. He nodded, his face crumpling. Okay. Whatever you need. She grabbed her bag and left, the night air sharp. Her heart was a tangle of hurt, trust. All nodded. She loved him. But could she forgive him? Emma avoided James for days. She worked, taught, visited her mom, but her mind was on him. The donation she's money had saved the center, the kids. But the lie, it hurt. He'd seen her at her rawest, teaching, giving, and hadn't trusted her with the truth. She felt exposed, like he'd owned a piece of her life without permission. Her mom noticed, stirring soup in their tiny kitchen. You're quiet, baby. What's wrong? Emma sighed, chopping carrots. James. He did something. Something big, and didn't tell me. Her mom raised an eyebrow. Something bad? Number good, actually. But he kept it secret. I feel betrayed. Her mom set the spoon down, her voice soft. Love's messy, Emma. People mess up. Question is, does he make you better? Does he fight for you? Emma paused, the knife still. He did. The coffees, the fare, the way he'd held her in the hospital. But the lie. I don't know if I can trust him. Trust takes time. Her mom touched her hand. But don't shut him out. Not if he's worth it. Emma nodded, her heart heavy. Worth it. Was he? At the center, the kids kept her grounded. Jamal read her a new story. Mia drew a picture of Miss Emma's superhero team. Rosa asked about James, her eyes knowing. He's been moping, she said, wiping a table. You two fighting? Emma shrugged, sorting books. Something like that. He's good, Mija. Not perfect, but good. Don't let pride steal that. Emma didn't answer, but Rosa's words stuck. Pride. Was that it? Or was it fear of being hurt again? James gave her space, but he didn't vanish. A text. I'm here when you're ready. A coffee left on her cart, no note. Small things, steady, like him. She missed him, his laugh, his warmth, the way he made her feel seen. But the hurt was a wall, and she wasn't ready to climb it. August arrived, the city sticky and alive. Hope Haven planned a back-to-school event supplies, games, a community boost. Emma threw herself into it, needing the distraction. James helped, quiet but present. He hauled boxes, set up tents, avoided her eyes. The kids didn't notice the tension, dragging him into games. Mia made him a paper crown, and he wore it. His smile strained but real. The event was a success, kids with new backpacks, parents grateful, music filling the air. Emma worked the book table, handing out novels. James was nearby, serving food. Their eyes met, and her heart tugged. He looked lost, like he was waiting for her to decide his fate. After they cleaned up, the center emptying, she found him stacking chairs, his sleeves rolled up. "James," she said, her voice soft. He turned, hopeful but guarded. "Hey." She took a breath, stepping closer. "I'm still mad. What you did, it hurt. But I get why. You were trying to help, to be good." He nodded, his eyes raw. "I should have told you. I was wrong. I'll never keep anything from you again." She searched his face, finding truth. "I love you," she said, her voice steady. "But I need honesty. Always. You have it." He stepped closer, not touching. "I love you, Emma. I want Thysis, the center, all of it. No secrets." She nodded, tears pricking. "Okay." He reached for her hand, tentative. She let him, their fingers lacing. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. They stood there, the classroom quiet, a new beginning forming. Fall came, crisp and golden. Emma enrolled in a teaching program, part-time, with a scholarship James helped find. Her mom was in remission, cooking again, teasing James at Sunday dinners. Hope Haven grew new classes, more staff, a bigger vision. Emma and James ran it together, partners in every sense. He told her everything the night he followed her, his paranoia, how she'd changed him. She listened, forgiving but firm. "No more shadows," she said. He agreed, and meant it. They launched the Hayes Carter Foundation, focusing on literacy and job training. Emma led programs. James handled funding. It was hard, long hours, tough choices, but they were a team. The kids called them Miss Emma and Mr. J, their heroes. Rosa officiated their wedding a year later, in the center's classroom, surrounded by kids, parents, and love. Mia was flower girl. Jamal read a story. Emma wore a simple dress, James a suit, his eyes never leaving her. "You taught me trust," he said in his vows, voice thick. "You showed me love is bigger than fear. I promise to be your partner. Always." She smiled, tears falling. "You showed me I'm enough. I promise to love you, fight with you, build with you." The center erupted in cheers, rice flying despite Rosa's no-rice rule. They danced under string lights, the city sparkling outside. Emma leaned into him, her heart full. "Any regrets?" she whispered. He kissed her, soft. "Only that it took me so long to see you." She laughed, spinning in his arms. "We found each other. That's enough." Years later, the foundation thrived, changing lives across Chicago. Emma taught, her classroom a beacon. James shed his paranoia, his wealth a tool for good. They built a life messy, real, theirs. Hope Haven stood strong, its walls telling their story. A poor girl, a suspicious millionaire, and a love that rewrote the world. Thank you so much for joining us on this heartfelt journey. Your support means the world to us. At Kindness in Real Life. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like, drop a comment to share your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring tales of compassion and connection. We'd love to hear how this story moved you. See you in the next video. Stay kind and take care.